going to jump right into the networking, the speed networking. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen before, and I'm really excited to introduce my business friend and colleague here. His name is Mark Boersma, and he is the president of Synergy Solutions. What is Synergy Solutions? They are architects and engineers designing custom BOS, or business operating system, for everyone on the planet. So, Mark, welcome, and take it away.
Thanks, Kevin, so much. I mean, I'm so excited. Thank you for inviting me. And have you ever been to some type of an event, a seminar, a workshop, or networking, or an association, and you went there with all these hopes to get business, and then you walked away, and maybe you got a bunch of business cards, but you didn't turn any of it into business? You know, I've experienced that myself. And years ago, I studied the people who were the best networkers that I knew, and then put it into an actual system. And so that's what we're going to share with you on speed networking. If you take this simple system and you plug it in to your own boss, your own business operating system, you're going to generate a lot more leads. You're going to more and better leads. You're going to convert more of those prospects into clients. You're going to convert them faster, and you're going to get more referrals. And it's really simple. It's almost, how do I say, it's almost too simple. Like you probably are, after I share like these secrets, you're probably going to be thinking, this is too simple. This won't work. Actually, it will. And there's an entire science. We won't be going into the full science today. Trust the integrity of the system. I've been blessed to be an international speaker and author, written 16 books, over 50 white papers. One of the books was with the Community Business Partnerships with Tom Kuntz, most recent past president of Century 21, largest real estate franchise in the world. He also helped raise over $100 million for Easter seals. And so this system, Tom said, was the fastest, the most effective, the simplest system he's ever seen. And it's really simple. You go to any event, and then you just, introduce yourself, get somebody's business card. You say as little as possible, and then you say, I'm just curious. And you got to get this like grin on your face. Like you're a little, like if you really want to study this, study a 3-year-old boy. Like they're innocent. Like they're just little curious monsters. Like they ask all questions. That you got to get a little smirk on your face. You got to have a little fun with it and say, I'm just curious, like what would you say the biggest challenge you might be facing in any area of your business or even life? And then you look at them and you just stop. Look right in their eyes and just stop and smile. And 99% of the time, people are going to smile back and they're going to say, that's an interesting question. And then they'll tell you. And you write it down on the back of the business card. And then depending on what their biggest challenge is, you may ask them, you may say, that's interesting. Tell me more. And they'll tell you more about their biggest challenge. Again, write it on the back of the business card. Then go and say, I might have some thoughts on that. Why don't I give you a call, maybe tomorrow? And they'll be like, okay. That creates tremendous intrigue, tremendous curiosity on their part. They're going to meet a lot of people today, and none of them are going to ask that question. They're going to be interested about talking about things that have very little relevance, or they're going to be interested in selling themselves or talking about themselves. So something significant, something of insignificance. What you're looking at is setting yourself apart. They're going to be curious. You're the person that asked that question and then kind of walked away from me. And you want to get as many of those as you can. So can you get 5? Can you get 10? Can you get 20? What can you get in being able to get their biggest challenges? Now, the science behind it working is somebody's biggest challenge is their area of pain. It's something that if we can come back, and we'll learn in future events, not today, but we'll learn in future events of how to build a conceptual bridge between our biggest challenge, somebody's biggest challenge in our product or service, or partnering or working together. There's actually a white paper out there on biggest challenged income. When we learn how to take other people's biggest challenges, their pain, their problems, the things that they're struggling with, and build a conceptual bridge between their challenge, their pain, and our solution, or working or partnering with us, that creates success. Now, we have some examples of that we're going to dive into, but I just want to make sure that we're clear before we move on. Kevin, I mean, is that clear questions? I mean, it's any thoughts that you have that will help people in being able to follow through with this? Kevin, are you muted? Kevin? Does anyone have any questions or thoughts? Can you all hear me?
Yes, Mark, I can hear you.
We have one individual that can hear me.
I think a lot of people will go to these networking events and they spend all their time and get absolutely nothing out of it.
Why do you think that is, Ed?
They're not purposeful in what they're doing.
Yeah. See, Ed, he and I have gone to events, and if you have two people going to an event, it's really cool. You know, Ed starts in the, upper left-hand corner of the room. I start in the lower left-hand corner, and we work in the middle. If you have 4 individuals, you can each start at a corner and work in the middle. And so if Ed gets 10 people, I get 10 people, then I can share my 10 people with Ed, and he can share his 10. I've just doubled my effectiveness. If you get 4 people in the room, you can work a room in a way that you've never even dreamed possible. Now, Ed and I kind of cheat. In that we contract with executive virtual assistants. And if you don't have an executive virtual assistant or multiple, right now I think we're contracting with 11 or 12 of them. They're amazing. They make me look great. What I actually do is take a photo of the business card and then text that along with the individual's biggest challenge over to my EVAs. They then put it in a database, and then they follow up, and they can schedule what's called a 30-minute strategy session. So it's literally an assembly line of being able to go through. And so Ed's like a rainmaker. He knows everybody connects, really fun guy. Me, not so much. But I've learned by doing this technique, I'm an introvert. Ed's an extrovert. He's met, everybody he meets is a friend. Me, I love people. I just don't like to be around them so much. And so, but this technique works for both sides because it gives me something that the introvert says, okay, I need to meet people, get their business card, and then I need to ask them their biggest challenge. Even I can do something like that. It works for somebody like Ed because Ed's challenges in speed networking is different than mine. My challenge is I'll sit in the room and not talk to anybody. Ed's challenge is he'll talk to everybody, and he doesn't have the bandwidth to follow up on all those opportunities unless he's got EVAs. Ed, any other suggestions that you would go ahead and give?
When you go to an event, you got to be purposeful. You got to come up with a plan before you go. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions? I mean, is this clear to people or not so much?
I think it's clear. I think one of the things that I remember when I call on people that have met Ed or have met Amy, they know them, and I think it's because of their frequency and how they talk to the people. They somehow set something in the person's mind that says, oh, yeah, I remember Amy. Oh, I remember Ed. And so I think the frequency is definitely an important part of getting people to remember you, too.
Nice. Absolutely. Anyone else have any other thoughts, ideas, suggestions? This is the thing that's crazy to me. Like how this took me over a decade to figure out and simplify and get it down. You can't get much more simple than this. Get a business card, ask them their biggest challenge, ask them if you want, tell me a little bit more about that, and then move on and do the next one. But I continue to be amazed as to how difficult it is, and people won't do this. Does anyone have any ideas why people won't follow through on something so simple, so easy?
They don't trust the system.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
They don't trust the system that you've already tested it and that does work.
Okay. How would somebody overcome that?
to try it, see if it works.
Yeah, cool. Kevin.
Yeah, so we find that in my life and in most people's life, I think 99% of the people are just sloppy, lazy, and undisciplined. They want what they want, but they just don't want to work for it. So by actually putting in the effort, you can find, if you've got the right system, which this is, that you can actually have a huge success.
Nice. I've got a list of probably over 30 people that I've listed out that I've done this with. Others in our network have done it, and now it's creating momentum. And so I can go through those, Kevin, or does anyone have any other questions or thoughts on what we've covered on the speed networking? Will you all do this? Does it connect? Like, write down right now, my WOW income goal is, and list that out. My minimum income goal is this, list that out. This is how many hours I'm currently working, and list that out. And then this is how many hours I want to work. Then list out what's my biggest challenge. Nancy in Tanglewood Conservatories. It's what's called the Success Circle of 12. And we're actually going to go through that Success Circle of 12 right now. And we're going to just do some speed networking here and actually sharing some of these things. And so let's start off with...
This conference has been reconnected.
Let's start off with Patrick. What did you learn as the leader of the Success Circle of 12? What would you like, how did it help you, how did it help the group, and what would you like to accomplish?
Yeah, Mark, so what I learned this week was to get the maximum buy-in from others, you really need to help them connect their passions, with whatever the vision may be. How does that help me and how does it help the group? I think if I or we can help others to find those connections, it will benefit, any goal that a group is trying to reach. As far as what I'm looking to accomplish today, really, I'd like to just be able to learn and quickly apply the things that I'm taking away from this mastermind seminar today.
Nice. Excellent. All right, Cheryl, Director of Communications.
Hi. What I'm trying to learn is to think differently when it comes to talking to a driver. This is my biggest challenge lately. I have to write copy for recruiting scripts to fill my database, and I need to write in the order of driver, expressive, analytical, and amiable. I will have to start off it correctly, so that's a challenge. This will help the team by being able to have a good database when an open position occurs. By practicing this, it will help me think differently quicker. What I'd like to accomplish today with the DNA for People is to do it at a higher dimension in my presentation and to hope I don't stretch it too much, but instead make others curious to learn, what the basics of the personalities.
Nice. All right, and someone on behalf of Nancy for DNA for People.
Nancy wanted to say that this week she learned that in order to connect with people, she must listen to them with the intention and interest to learn and understand and be aware of tones, motions, and words. It benefited her that after a meeting with a prospect and practicing good listening skills, they were ready to write us a check. I felt a connection, which I think was mutual. They kept saying how beautiful our work was and how they were surprised and happy to know that artisans still exist in this country. How will it benefit the team? As the team practices deep listening, the team as a whole and as individuals will connect with people on a deeper level. It will bring business, referrals, people will be waiting in line to buy Tanglewood and work for Tanglewood. What she wants to accomplish today is how to communicate this understanding to the team so that they can be open to receive.
Nice. All right, Nicole, DNA for business.
All right, so what I learned this week is that I can use the pressure point analysis in multiple different ways outside of sales. How it helps me is it's actually furthering my journey to help me see the big picture, and I'm starting to look at things differently. How it helps the team is that I can offer a different perspective to the team to sort of help bring those that aren't seeing the big picture up with me. And what I would like to accomplish today is how can I use this new discovery to help convert prospects faster.
Nice, nice. Jason, DNA for life.
So on behalf of Jason, he was learning about stewardship, so time, talent, treasure, trust, and truth. And he was able to use this by asking people in our company, in our group, to find out about other people's roles and what they actually do that maybe other people didn't know that they did, how this benefits the group. I know that Jim Johnson found out what we did in the sales role and found out about Bromball this week. And what he would like to ask is what other ways can stewardship help in a company to make them more prosperous in blending their departments.
Nice. Brandon, Area 1 Marketing.
I learned that I need to push myself to higher limits to learn more about the 530 grid. How this will help me, it would help me with making my own 530 grid for the Tanglewood shop itself. And it would also help the company understand more about the 530 grid and how it deals with everybody in the shop.
Nice, nice. Carly, Area 2 Pre-Sales.
What I learned this week is time blocking is not as easy as it seems, at least for me. And I've also learned is how time blocking for you can create interruptions for others and vice versa. How did this benefit the team? It made me aware of what I allow to happen in my daily routine and how I allow others to affect my production. What I can learn, or what I would like to learn, is how to balance the two, how to mesh the two time blocking systems, mine and others, to help everybody achieve their goals.
Nice. Alan, Area 3, the sale.
Okay, what Alan learned from his role this week is he realized that most people cannot function in an environment where there is no clear structure or authority. Therefore, if he wants to build a culture of self-responsibility, he needs to do it gradually while still providing a tangible umbrella of direction. How it benefited him, it will help him become a better leader. How this will benefit the team, he will be a better leader. And what did he want to accomplish was how to push more things forward faster.
Nice. And Area Role 9, Servicing.
That would be me. What I focused on today was how to use better references and referrals. How this helps me is that I can have my warm referrals, my cold calling, and how they work better. How it'll help others is by teaching the team and the salespeople to get referrals on every visit they go to. That makes the calling process much more smooth than a cold call. And what I would like to have us work on in the future is increasing our number of referrals so that there are less cold calls and more warm referral calls.
Nice. And then Jim, Area 5, Client for Life.
So on behalf of Jim, this week he learned, for Client for Life, he learned the importance of taking action. How it helps him is that, he's starting to look at things a little differently, and he can understand, yes, the details are important, but he can take a step back and say, you just got to do it in order to make that client happy. How it helps the team, same way, if he can see that, he can help us see that bridge and sort of push us when we need to be pushed. And what he would like to accomplish today is how can he sort of spread this this knowledge really with those team members that aren't seeing the taking action.
Wow. Kevin, that was pretty amazing, huh?
That was absolutely spectacular. Congratulations to everyone doing that. You see how simple that is? It does not take a lot. It just means that you have to take a specific focus with a specific intent and execute. Executing is so important. Thank you so much, Mark. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, sir. You can roll it with the wins and biggest challenges.